Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Espresso, where you learn English naturally through fascinating stories. Today, we are going on a journey into the heart of Indian history. Our destination is Agra, and our subject is one of the most beautiful buildings ever created, the Taj Mahal. But this is not simply a story about love, beauty, and white marble. Behind its beautiful walls, there are stories of mystery, legends, and dark secrets. Did Shah Jahan really order the hands of the craftsmen to be cut off so they could never build anything like it again? Was there really a plan to build a mysterious Black Taj Mahal across the Yamuna River? And perhaps the most important question of all, how much of these stories is actually true? In today's episode, The Myths and Curses of the Taj Mahal, we will travel through these fascinating legends. We will discover where the stories came from, what history tells us, and where imagination may have taken over. But there is another reason to listen carefully. This is also your English storytelling practice. So, listen slowly. Pay attention to the sentences. Notice the useful vocabulary and try to understand the story without translating every single word. You are not only learning about history, you are also improving your English, one story at a time. So, get comfortable. Open your mind and let us travel back in time to the magnificent world of the Taj Mahal, a world of emperors, love, marble, mystery, and unforgettable legends. The story begins now. Part 1. The Midnight Architect. It is a quiet August night beside the Yamuna River in Agra. The moon rises slowly above the city, and its pale light falls across the white marble of the Taj Mahal. During the day, the monument shines under the bright Indian sun. But at night, something changes. The marble looks softer, the shadows grow deeper, and the delicate carvings seem almost alive. This is the Taj Mahal, one of the most famous monuments in the world. But it is not just a beautiful building. It is also a place surrounded by centuries of stories. Some are historical, some are romantic, and some are dark legends. To understand those stories, we need to go back to the 17th century. The Mughal emperor, Shah Jahan, had suffered a devastating loss. His beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, died in 1631 after giving birth to their 14th child. Shah Jahan was deeply heartbroken. His grief was almost impossible to describe. So he decided to create something that would keep her memory alive. He ordered the construction of a magnificent mausoleum in her honor. Construction began in the 1630s. Thousands of people worked on the enormous project. Craftsmen, builders, stonecutters, calligraphers, and artists all played a part. Slowly, stone by stone, the great monument began to rise beside the Yamuna River. The Taj Mahal brought together different architectural traditions, including Persian, Islamic, Indian, and Central Asian influences. The result was extraordinary. White marble, delicate carvings, beautiful gardens, and carefully designed symmetry came together to create something unforgettable. But as the Taj Mahal became more famous, stories began to grow around it. Some stories were beautiful, some were mysterious, and others were frightening. Some were so strange that they sounded almost impossible to believe. But before we enter those darker stories, let's learn 3 useful English words. Mausoleum means a large building where a dead person is buried. Grief means deep sadness after losing someone. And monument means a structure built to remember a person or an important event. So, when Shah Jahan built the Taj Mahal, he was creating a monument shaped by his grief, and inside it would stand a magnificent mausoleum. But there is more to this story, because behind the beauty of the Taj Mahal lies a darker legend. A story filled with mystery, fear, and one of the most famous and controversial legends ever connected to this extraordinary monument. And that is where our story truly begins. Part 2. The Severed Hands Legend. Perhaps the most famous dark story about the Taj Mahal is the legend of the severed hands. According to the story, Shah Jahan was determined to make the Taj Mahal completely unique. So the legend says he ordered the craftsmen who built the monument to be mutilated. Some versions say their hands were cut off. Others claim they were blinded or otherwise disabled. But why would Shah Jahan do something so terrible? The legend claims that he wanted to make sure these talented craftsmen could never build another monument as beautiful as the Taj Mahal. It sounds horrifying, and it certainly makes a powerful story. But there is one important problem. There is no reliable historical evidence proving that Shah Jahan ordered the craftsmen to be mutilated. In fact, historical records and later research point in a very different direction. Many craftsmen associated with Mughal architecture continued working on other important buildings and artistic projects. One famous example is the Red Fort in Delhi. Its construction began during Shah Jahan's reign. Skilled architects, designers, and craftsmen continued contributing to Mughal architecture after the Taj Mahal was completed. So, where did this frightening story come from? Nobody can say with complete certainty. Over the centuries, travelers, storytellers, and popular writers added dramatic details to the history of the Taj Mahal. And slowly, a magnificent monument became even more fascinating when surrounded by a frightening legend. This teaches us an important lesson about history. A story can be famous without being true. Before we continue, let's learn 3 useful English words. Mutilate means to severely damage or injure a person or a body part. Legend means a traditional story that may contain some truth but has not been proven as historical fact. And evidence means information that helps prove whether something is true. In this case, the evidence for the severed hands story is weak, but the legends surrounding the Taj Mahal were not finished yet. Soon, an even stranger story would emerge. A story about a monument that was never completed, a monument made of black marble. And that story would become known as the legend of the Black Taj Mahal. Part 3. The Curse of the Black Taj Mahal. Now, look across the Yamuna River from the Taj Mahal. According to one famous legend, Shah Jahan planned to build another enormous mausoleum directly opposite the Taj Mahal. But this one would be different. Instead of brilliant white marble, it would be made of black marble. The two monuments, the story says, would stand opposite each other, like dark and light reflections. The Black Taj would be Shah Jahan's own tomb, creating a dramatic pair across the river. It is a fascinating idea. But did it really happen? The evidence is far less certain than the legend suggests. Archaeological remains have been found in the area of Mehtab Bagh, a garden complex across the Yamuna from the Taj Mahal. Some people once interpreted dark stone remains there as evidence of a planned Black Taj Mahal. However, later interpretations have suggested that these remains may instead have been connected with the garden and its architectural features. One possible explanation is a mirror effect. The Taj Mahal was carefully positioned beside the river, and its reflection could appear in the water from the opposite garden. The symmetry of the landscape may have created an impressive visual relationship between the monument and its surroundings. So perhaps the Black Taj Mahal was never a second black monument at all. Perhaps it was a misunderstanding that slowly grew into a legend. Then came another dramatic turn in Shah Jahan's life. In 1658, his son, Aurangzeb, took power and placed Shah Jahan under confinement in Agra Fort. Shah Jahan spent his final years there, and according to the traditional account, he could see the Taj Mahal from his quarters. Eventually, he was buried beside Mumtaz Mahal, inside the Taj Mahal. The Black Taj story therefore became connected with ideas of unfinished dreams, imprisonment, and loss. Before we continue, let's learn 3 useful English words. Archaeology is the study of the human past through physical remains. Symmetry means balance between two sides, and reflection is an image produced when light or a surface mirrors something. So the truth may be less dramatic than the legend, but sometimes reality is mysterious enough. Part 4. Whispers in the Garden. The Taj Mahal does not stand alone. Around the monument, there is a carefully planned garden known as a charbagh. A charbagh is a traditional four-part garden design associated with Persian and Islamic traditions. The garden is divided into 4 main sections by pathways and water channels. But this design was not created only for beauty. It also carried a deeper spiritual meaning. In Islamic artistic traditions, the garden can symbolize paradise, a place of peace, beauty, flowing water, and eternal life. So the Taj Mahal was not simply a building. It brought together architecture, nature, water, light, and symbolism into one carefully designed experience. But there is another fascinating feature: precision. Look carefully at the entire complex, and you will notice a remarkable balance between its major elements. The central mausoleum, the minarets, the gateways, the gardens, and the water features were arranged with extraordinary precision. Even the minarets contain a subtle architectural detail. They are slightly angled outward rather than standing perfectly vertical. This design is often explained as a safety precaution. If a minaret ever collapsed, it would be less likely to fall directly onto the central mausoleum. The architects also used visual techniques to influence how visitors experienced the monument. The main gateway frames the Taj Mahal like a giant picture. As you move through the complex, the monument gradually appears larger and more impressive. These effects were carefully planned, and perhaps this is why some visitors describe the Taj Mahal as almost unreal. Its appearance changes under sunlight, moonlight, mist, and shadow. The same white marble can look different at different times of the day, and these changing views can create a powerful emotional atmosphere. Sometimes it may even feel mysterious. But we should separate atmosphere from the supernatural. There is no need for a curse to explain the strange feelings people sometimes experience there. The architecture itself can create a powerful experience. Before we continue, let's learn 3 useful English words. Symbolism means using an object or design to represent a deeper idea. Precision means being extremely accurate and careful about details. And illusion means something that appears different from reality. The Taj Mahal was carefully designed to create powerful visual and emotional impressions. And those impressions may be one reason its legends have survived for centuries. But when the legends disappear, what remains? The stone, the story, and the memory of love and loss. Part 5. Legacy beyond the stone. More than 3 centuries after its completion, the Taj Mahal still stands, beside the Yamuna River. Its white marble has witnessed changing emperors, political struggles, wars, visitors, photographers, historians, and millions of travelers. Today, in 2026, it remains one of the world's most recognizable monuments. For many people, it represents eternal love. For historians, it represents an extraordinary period of Mughal architecture. For architects, it is a masterpiece of proportion, geometry, craftsmanship, and design. And for storytellers, it is something even more fascinating. A place where history and legend exist side by side. We have heard the story of the severed hands, but there is no reliable evidence that Shah Jahan ordered his craftsmen to be mutilated. We explored the legend of the Black Taj Mahal, but archaeological evidence does not establish that a second black marble mausoleum was actually built or completed, and we discovered the Charbagh Garden, whose design carries spiritual symbolism and creates a carefully controlled visual experience. Now, let's review some useful English from our journey. Grief means deep sadness after a loss. Mausoleum means a building used as a tomb. Legend means a traditional story that may not be historically proven. Evidence means information used to support a claim. Symmetry means balance between corresponding parts, and reflection means an image produced by a reflective surface. So, what should we remember? The most fascinating stories are not always the stories that are completely true. Sometimes, history gives us the facts and people add the mystery. The Taj Mahal became beautiful because of its architecture, but its legends made it even more unforgettable. Now, I want to hear from you. Which legend did you find the most fascinating? The severed hands, the Black Taj Mahal, or the mysterious atmosphere of the Taj itself? Share your answer in the comments. And if this story helped you practice English, keep listening, keep learning, and keep discovering history through stories. This is English Espresso. See you in the next story.